Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is February 21st, 2015, and it is Fountain of Youth Day. What a tremendous card. Christina Bosanakis, Ron Nicoletti, and Ron, so much happening. We got to start. We got to start right away because there's so much happening. We do have the headliner, which is the Bessalou Stables Fountain of Youth, but there are so many other good races on tap.
We have a great card today. What a job by the racing office putting this together. You know, we have a $300,000 jackpot guaranteed today in the Rainbow Six. We got this 12-race card, so it's races 7 to 12, and then we have a $150,000 jackpot guarantee in the Pick 5, 50-cent wager. It's the last 5 races on the card. And we're going to end the day, one of 2, our late pick 4 will have a $300,000 guaranteed pool. That's races 9 through 12. That's 3 stakes. And the last race, which is a fun race on the grass, and one of those races, of course, the Bessalou Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, we do have the Bessalou Fountain of Youth, and we've got a breezy day, as you can probably tell from Ron Nicoletti's hair.
My hair. Yeah. I just think yours,
but let's get into it. We do have 12 races, and Ron, we'll get into the first one. And the first race, and we have an allowance, so one other than allowance. It's a mile 16th on the turf course. And my top selection, I went with number 12, and that is Town Extension from the Barclay Tag barn. I see that you went in the same direction. Probably going to be coming from just off the pace. This 5-year-old. Couple of nice races. Taglib, who beat him last time, he was actually one of the main track only entries for, or he was also eligible for one of the stakes on the card today. So pretty good form for this Town Extension.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think it's going to sit a nice trip, and that's why I went from he's sort of on the outside. He's actually on the outside today. We got a couple of scratches to his inside, and I just think he's going to sit a nice stalking trip. It's not an easy race. There's a couple other ways you can go, but I'm pretty amazed that we both just settled on the 12. Barclay Tag, of course, an excellent trainer. Number 8, Empire Knight, stretching out today to a mile and a 16th. He posted back-to-back victories at a mile. It's Mike Maker. It's leading rider Javier Castellano, horse I believe you got to have somewhere in the ticket. They've just been doing so fantastic here at the meet. Mr. Maker had 3 or 4 wins just the other day, and I used the 3 Powerful Instinct, which you did too on the ticket.
Yeah, I also threw number 9, Market Outlook, on there from the Chad Brown barn. Hasn't run since last March, and I think Chad does a good job bringing them back off a layoff. Very steady work pattern coming into this one. If he runs back to that earlier form, I think you'll probably want to include him. We move on to the second race on today's card, and we do have a $50,000 maiden claiming event, 6 furlongs on the main track. And Ron, that kicks off the early pick 4.
Yes.
And our top, and it looks like we have the same horses, so we're pretty much in agreement, although we have them in a different order. I tried to take a little bit of a shot here with number 1, and that is Dixie One from the David Canizzo barn, and 4th last time, and that was in his career debut. I think he should be expected to step forward here with David. Now, this is the first start for these current connections, previously with Robert Falcone. But I think this horse, if he takes a step forward, he's got a good shot.
I believe he'll be there at the wire. I did go with the number 7, Awesome Union. I'll tell you why. This one should be primed and ready, I believe, today. Returned from that layoff to set the pace and weakened to finish 3rd. Was at the same level and distance. The trainer is Stanley Gull. I just think after that comeback performance, this horse is going to run very well. Edgar Zayas rationing this horse's speed today. Horse that beat him, we both have on our ticket last time out, is the 4, Brett Park. Comes off that 2nd place finish in front of aforementioned Awesome Union. Demerita spot here today. It's Buff Bradley, Leandro Conclaves in the saddle.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty competitive race. So we're going to go, use 3 for the first steppers?
Yeah, you got to go 3 there for the first leg of, as we mentioned, one of 2 pick 4s today.
Right. On to the third race on the card, and we do have a maiden special weight. It is for 3-year-olds. 6.5 furlongs on the main track, and my top selection, I went with number 8, Data Driven from the Chad Brown barn, and this horse cost $175,000 at the OBS March sale. That's the 2-year-old in training sale. The mare, she's graded stakes placed on the dirt. And numbers, Northern Afleet, his numbers are pretty standard, pretty average for his first-time starters. He's at about 11%. Paco Lopez gets aboard, and Chad and Paco, they've been combining they've been doing really well together.
When I did this analysis, they were a perfect 3 together, so you can't get much more than that. And get a load of this. The return of investment was $21.40. So this was done, I don't know if they had a winner yesterday. I don't think they did together, I meant. So that still stands there. Exactly a thing we've been watching over the last couple of days. Every time Paco rides for Chad, you got got to watch it. I did go with the number 7, who you have in second. We got our exacta flip-flop. This is the face of a winner, cutting back today to 6.5 furlongs after it's sort of an inconsistent pair at 7 AMH and Wild. He's beaten ahead in his debut. Looks like he's really, something. He comes back. He doesn't run that well, but he's a horse against a horse called Kozan, who was very impressive. Got a triple-digit speed figure in that race. Kozan will be running tomorrow, so I'm going to excuse that last race and give him a chance to bounce back. The trainer is Gustavo Delgado. He's got leading jockey Javier Castellano in the saddle.
Well, the one thing about him is I think that off of that debut, he might have regressed. He regressed. It seems like he came back in 3 weeks off of a pretty big effort to begin with. I think he's now back off of a month, and about a month, I think that's going to be better for him. Also, the blinkers on, you got to throw him in. Number 1, Element, I've included him. Saw him working at Palm Beach Downs a few weeks ago. Was actually working with Angela Renee, and she's a Grade 1 stakes winner from the Pletcher Barn, so I think you're going to want to include number 1 as well. On to the 4th race on today's card, and we kick off the stakes action with the Grade 3 Rampart. It is a mile on the main track. It is for the ladies. And Ron, my top choice in there, I went with number 2. I think she's really going to be tough to beat for a couple of reasons, and that's Wedding Toast. She's got the speed. Her numbers really stack up. From a numbers perspective, I look at the Thorograph sheets and a couple of other things as well, and she seems to stand out. And look at her last 7 starts. She finished second behind a horse named Princess of Silmar. That was in the Cat K back in April 2014. Other than that, she's done very little wrong.
Yeah, I mean, she at one time won 4 races in a row. Then she comes back, gets to back to her winning ways. She went to the 7 furlong Miami Shores here last time out. Had her on the ticket, but I did go with the 3 house rules. Added credence, I believe, to the horse for course theory. She shipped in from Aqueduct to win the $60,000 Bal Harbour here. Won that race by 9 1/4 lengths. Her local record now 6 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds. James Jerkins, Javier Castellano. This is a multiple Grade 2 stakes place, daughter of Distorted Humor. Wedding Toast on the ticket for all the reasons you mentioned, and we both used the 4. Thank you, Mary Lou. This one third to the Eclipse winner, Judy the Beauty. That was in the 7 furlong Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Third in the 7 furlong Grade 1 La Brea out at Santa Anita. This horse is coming into here with 2 Grade 1s under its belt, and if things get the pace gets right, this horse could be right there at the wire.
That's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if Wedding Toast can't get onto an easy advantage and maybe take it. I'm hoping take it wire to wire, but we'll see. Flutter by. She probably is going to have some. She might be close up, but I'm hoping it's going to set up for Wedding Toast. wire to wire. On to the 5th race on the card. It is the Grade 3, the Very 1. It is a mile and 3/8 on the turf course. And Ron, this is another exciting one, and I'll tell you why. I'm actually a big fan of number 6 in there, Repost. That's my top selection. That's a 5-year-old mare by Danzilli. Danzilli, really one of the leading stallions, not only for turf runners, not only really in Europe but internationally. She's beautifully bred. The mare has already produced a really nice horse named Powers Court. Powers Court won the Arlington Million a couple of times, and her 2 latest races were back. Now, the only thing is her latest race was back in June, but it is Belmont. Belmont, I have no problem. I've seen him bring horses off of over a year, and it's no problemo.
Well, I went with the 3 Irish Mission. We're going to go back and show you this horse's stretch run back on December 27th, and that is Irish Mission, the 12 horse that day.
And oh yes, go ahead. Ron.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Irish Mission. I really loved her that day, and as you just pointed out, number 12. She's coming out of that 12 hole. We didn't love that, but she ran a really game race, and it was a tough race from a tough post.
Yeah, and she did an excellent job in there, and that is the reason I have her on top of my ticket. She's a winner at the distance in the Grade 3 Glen Falls up at Saratoga, the 12 furlong La Praviante, as you saw here last time out. And this is Christophe Clement, John Velasquez, and this is the daughter of Giants Causeway. I think it's going to sit a really nice, perfect trip just off the speed in this race. Repose for all the reasons you mentioned. And what about the 5? We both put it on our ticket, and that's Kittensport. Proves she could handle this distance of ground. She just won a 12 furlong Astra at Santa Anita last time out, and she loves this course. 4 starts, 2 wins in 2 seconds. So here's a horse you wouldn't think until she won that race. If you say, wow, maybe it's a little too long for her, but she can win at 12 furlongs. She certainly can win at 11.
How close do you think Irish Mission's going to have to be? Because it seems Repost, she seems like she might have some speed in here. Some of these are dead closers.
Yeah.
So where's the pace?
I think she's going to sit right forward. There's going to be somebody setting the pace, and it always happens with this. I mean, to find out who the pace setters are, maybe Raposta will be up there, but Iris Mission has that tactical ability to sit right off it, or if the case may be, maybe go up and duel for the lead early on and everything like that. She has that tactical ability to do that, and a much improved post today with post number 3.
Yeah, this sure is much improved. On to the 6th race on the card, we do have the Grade 3 Gulfstream Park Sprint. It's 6.5 furlongs on the main track. We do have a scratch, number 1, Prudhoe Bay, and my top selection, I tried to take a shot in here. I just really think number 5, Mean Season. He's talented, 5-year-old horse by Henny Hughes. We know he's fast. He's undefeated, 3 for 3. Hasn't run since last March, and that's for Bill Mott. Here, we talk about a little bit earlier what I was saying about see the Bill Mott comments from the last race. I don't think it's going to be a problem in terms of he'll have him ready to run. We know he's got the talent. He's been training consistently coming into this. Ron, it's just a question of that. It's just a question of experience. He's facing some experienced horses.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how I see it, too. And 2 of those victories, triple-digit speed figures you got, that was on the Aqueduct in the track. So I'm not convinced. I got to see. I have him on my ticket for all the reasons you mentioned, but I'm going to wait and take a wait-and-see approach and put him in the 3rd spot. I did go with a horse I've really been fond of, and that's the 6 Speechify. It's stretching out today to 6.5 furlongs after impressive victories both in the 6 furlong Kenny No Jr. at Crosstown at Gulfstream Park West, then comes back and wins the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector here on December 27th. This is his toughest task yet. I like him in there, but there's a horse that I see you did not use on your ticket, and I want to tell you why I used the 2 CZ. Second to the Breeders' Cup Sprint winner, work all week. That was in the Grade 3 Phoenix at Keeneland in October. Now stretches out after, I thought, a solid local tune-up against $100,000 optional claimants here, in which the horse ran a fast closing second. The Colts second to Wildcat Red in the 7 furlong, a Grade 2 Hutchison last year. Loves this track. 7 starts, 3 wins in 3 seconds. So that one, I don't know what he's on. I think he's it's 6-1 on the 8-1 on the 5-1 on the morning line. I think you got to throw him on your ticket.
You see, I didn't use him because I used Weekend Hideaway, and I think that's you have to use Weekend Hideaway. He was an impressive winner last time in the Sunshine Millions Sprint, and Ron, I think he's really, his numbers have been improving, and since he came back off a layoff, he ran a big race first time back. I think you got to include
him.
him.
We have our first bet of the afternoon, I see here.
You want to have a head-to-head? CZ and Weekend Hideaway.
Folks, that's a personal bet we'll have later on.
We'll let you know who's going to win later on and who's going to be the one on top. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and have a look at the 7th race on today's card that kicks off the Rainbow Six.
Gulfstream Park is one of Florida's top entertainment destinations, mixing restaurants, clubs, a casino, and international boutique shops with world-class racing. In a lavish, sun-drenched setting with the feel of a Mediterranean village, Gulfstream is a leading year-round entertainment and tourist destination and the home of luxury residences in 2014. The Stronach family, owners of Gulfstream Park, is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
The Rainbow Six is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market for the popular bet. And in addition to doubling the base wager, the percentage return for the winners on the day the jackpot isn't hit increases to 70%, with 30% going to the carryover pool for the next program. Gulfstream Park, you got to be here each and every day.
Welcome back to Gulfstream Park. We're going to have a look at today's 7th race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow Six. There's a guarantee, $300,000. Ron, race 7, we got to figure it out. It's the ladies' turf sprint, 5 furlongs turf. What do we do?
Tough race.
Yeah.
Scratch the 7, Wildcat Lily. We know that much. I did go with a horse that's shipping in, and I don't usually do this, and I see you have the horse in your ticket too, and that's the 3 Good Deed. Ships in after posting impressive back-to-back 5.5 furlong sprint victories at the fairgrounds. The trainer is Steve Margolis. He's got Corey Lannery named to ride. I had the 6 horse you have on top in second, and that horse, boy, that one likes to win.
Yeah, Vasanante, yeah, that's my top selection. Already has a win over the turf course as well. And as you said, she's a win machine. I think the reason I like her is because she's got speed, but she can also stalk. I think she's got that tactical speed. So I'm hoping, it looks like there are a few horses in here signed up that do have speed, so maybe she'll be able to just come right off of it. And again, I like that versatility. John Velasquez gets aboard and for these connections, but I think this is going to be one of the ones you're going to have to watch out.
Number 2, Catching Fireflies, a perfect 2-for-2 sprinting on this local turf course, has shown that attack ability to win from on or off the pace, and he can, can be a good thing in a race that's pretty stocked with speed in here. These are really tough to do. So we give you different selections in here. I think you got to go a little deep in this first leg of the Rainbow Six, and we'll see how the things shake out. I know you also used the number 12 on your ticket.
I did use the number 12 horse, and again, this mare looks like she'll be coming from off the pace. Again, maybe if a pace scenario sets up, it can set it up for this filly. Eddie Keneally, very capable, and she last won at Saratoga, but I think you want to have her on your ticket.
Now, when you put your ticket together, if you're of the opinion that you're going to single main sequence a little while down the road in the other part of the ticket, you want to go deeper in that leg.
I think you do too.
You know, if that's your angle today.
On to the 8th race, and the 8th race is the Grade 2 Devona Dale, and this is it's a mile.
Just keeps getting better.
It does. I love it. This is just so exciting. I can't even contain myself. And the 8th race kicks off the Pick 5.
Pick 5, $150,000 guarantee in the Pick 5. Last 5 races, 50-cent wager.
And we do have a scratch. Number 11 has been scratched, and my top selection in here. And we're going to take a look at this filly's last race, which is Puka from the Belmont barn, and Ron, she 2 starts back, she won at Belmont very impressively. If you look at her at Saratoga on the turf, she finished behind Lady Eli. They run her in the Breeders' Cup. She had issues that day.
Yeah, you'll see right now she's going. She sort of had to wait for room, then she comes through. She finds a little spot here, and then everything closes up on her. And more importantly now, you see she's really got nowhere to run. As things brighten for her a little bit, she comes running on it. She only ends up getting, beat 3 lengths in the whole race. So I just thought off that performance and everything like that. Love that horse going into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, so I'm jumping on that bandwagon today. I know we both had it on top of our tickets. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to go there. Number 4, Bird on the Wire, very impressive, winning last time out. But I did go with the number 6, Puka, and I got the number 2, Todd Pletcher's horse, Eskin for Money. This one looks like a star in the rise to me.
Eskin for Money, she just had that experience. She started her career off on the turf, and then she moved to the dirt, and she seems to just have gone to a different level since she's been on the dirt. And Todd Pletcher had said that with Eskenderea, he trained her sire Eskenderea. He got better as time went on from 2 to 3 and making that progression. She seems to be making a similar progression. She has also, I think, tactical speed. She can sit just off the pace. And Ron, Puka, you've got to include, what about cavorting, though? Neither of us have used cavorting. Very highly regarded from the Kieran McLaughlin barn. And that last race at Belmont, I was there that day. The track was an absolute mess.
Right.
It was a quagmire. So you can throw that out. She's a nice filly, too.
Yeah, and you didn't use Bird on the Wire. I'm surprised the 4 horse in there stretching out the mile after that impressive performance in the Grade 2 forward gal where she bumped at the start. She actually circled 5 wide, so pretty nice performance.
I'll tell you why, because that race, it's set up with so much speed, and Enchantress, who's also in here for Todd Pletcher, she just got crispy fried on the front end. Just went so, and the speed just fell apart. The race just fell apart, and Bird on the Wire came up late. She ran a great race that day. I'm not sure she's going to get the same scenario here, which is why I didn't use her. We look on to the 9th race, and the 9th race is the Grade 2 MacDiarmida. It is 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf course, and this kicks off the late Pick 4.
$300,000 in the guarantee, so it's going to be a fun bet. Guaranteeing it way over $500,000
today. So the MacDiarmida, the story in the MacDiarmida is going to be number 1, and that is Main Sequence. Main Sequence, 2014 champion turf horse, older horse. He was a finalist for Horse of the Year. He did, I was going to say very little wrong. He did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong.
He was undefeated in 4 starts. He won 4 Grade 1s. And let's take a look at the last of those Grade 1s, which was the Breeders' Cup Turf. how good is he? And I saw him actually at Monmouth Park
Right.
for the United Nations, and his whole thing is the break.
Right.
And Graham Motion that day, he has a tendency, he doesn't get off to the greatest of starts, and it leaves him a little bit behind in the early going. He always picks up the pieces, and he always runs.
Well, the horse that's coming up, finishing third, that is Twilight Eclipse in here, and this one is the defending champ in at McDermott, hoping for his horse for course status, winning this race last year, and to turn back to 11 furlongs makes him finally get the better of Main Sequence. He's chased him around all year.
I think he's just going to have and Tom Albertrani had commented that he, a couple of those races he finished so close up to him, and they had a bit of some bad luck, not the cleanest of trips, and as I said, they're going to need a lot to beat Main Sequence, and Graham Motion has shown he can bring Main Sequence off a layoff and win. If you saw that race at Monmouth, he came back he had been off for a long time, over 8 months, so I think, again, he can win off the layoff. They're actually prepping him for a race in Dubai, the Dubai World Cup, or the Dubai Shima Classic, so that'll be an exciting race for the 9th. We move on to the 10th race, the Grade 3 Canadian Turf, and we have another competitive race in here, scratch 14 and 15. My top selection, I went with number 6, Jack Milton. This is a son of Warfront. He's a nice horse. He's a full to Peace Preserver graded stakes winner, and he's a closer. He needs pace.
There's pace. There's tons of speed in this race.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
and that's what we're going to need to see with him. So, Ron, you went in that and you used him, and also number 2. I see that you used Grand Tito.
Yeah, Grand Tito, let me tell you about it. This one's turned it back to a mile after getting beat 1.5 lengths by Mishawis. That was in the 9 furlong Grade 1 Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap. And then gets beat a neck by Mishawis again in the mile in the 16th Grade 2 Fort Lauderdale. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. Jose Lescano's going to ride the speed on the inside, ex-caper. I just thought Grand Tito, if you like Mishawis like we do, this horse, 8-1 on the morning line, has got to be on somewhere on your tickets. That's the way I saw it in there. And that was my reasoning going off the company line this horse has been keeping.
And Escaper, we did throw him in. He's the speed.
He's the speed.
He's the speed. You know that he's going to have some speed in there. That's a pretty competitive race. And several horses that I think that you might have to use. On to the 11th race, and the 11th race is the Grade 2 Besalou Stables Fountain of Youth Stakes, a mile and a 16th on the main track. I love these races. We were talking about the Devona Dale for the 3-year-old fillies and preps for the Triple Crown, or for later on, or I should say the classics for the fillies. This is the prep for, or the stepping stone to the Spring Classics. And we have
the Florida Derby.
And the Florida Derby. But, Ron, my top selection, number 7, Upstart. And speaking of the Florida Derby, he's one of the early favorites. He won the Lamb Home South Grade 2 Holy Bull, January 24th. I saw him the other day up at Palm Meadows. He looked spectacular. He's been working spectacular. He just did it so easy the day I saw him, and I think that he's the one to beat.
Well, let's show you the video of the horse who ran second in that day, and that is the 6, Frosted in here. And you'll see this horse was not close to the stretch, but watch the start here of Frosted, the number 1. Gets into a little banging duel with a couple of horses in there, and just doesn't have the cleanest of breaks. Then he's running up, and you'll see here again, Frosted, he just has nowhere to move in there. It's like blocked in, and and he just wasn't the cleanest of trips. Now he closes. Upstart is on the way, and here comes Frosted, after all that early trouble to try and reel in Upstart. That wasn't going to happen on this particular day, but just wanted to go back and show you that race where maybe this horse can, bounce back and turn the tables on Upstart.
Well, blinkers on this time for Frosted, and maybe that'll help him bump up his game. Kieran McLaughlin said he's been training very forwardly with those blinkers on. I don't think, personally, he would have beaten Upstart that day.
I don't think so either, but I think he could have been closer, and, that's racing luck.
And you got to use it's a knockout. Undefeated, 2 starts, Todd Fletcher. To me, that's...
What about Gorgeous Boyd?
Gorgeous Bird, he's stepping up and he's improving. I do think from a numbers perspective in that, I think that to me, it's a knockout's a little more forward, and that's why I used him. But Gorgeous Bird, very nice. He's also a very, very nice horse. We look on to the final race on today's card. The 12th is a maiden special weight. It is a mile and an eighth, on the turf course. We do have scratch of the also eligibles 15, 16, and Ron, my top selection, I went with number 6, and that's Cat Humor. And I have to be honest, I was torn. There were several horses. I wanted to use the one you went with, and that's Dreaming of Gold from the Mike Maker barn. And I have to a stakes winner, actually, Believe in Charlie. That is Dreaming of Gold. But those 3 horses that we have, I was torn between all 3.
Yeah, well, the 7 horse I really like in there, so I did put him on top, Dreaming of Gold, for all the reasons you mentioned. They have to Believe in Charlie. Had trouble in its last race at the start. Steady came in the neck of exiting maiden ranks, and just like that one, of course, you have to have a kitten horse on, so I used number 3, Tweet Kitten in second, and the 5, Animal Cracker in third, but I wouldn't leave out Christina 6. There's where you got to make your decision. Do you single main sequence a little early on so you can spread in these great races today that we have fantastic guarantees in?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I would I would single main sequence. He would be one of them that I probably would have to consider. Would you single main sequence?
No, I'm not going to do it, only because he's coming off a little bit of a layoff and it's 11 furlongs. Probably most people will, but I'm going to go. I think that maybe Twilight Eclipse can turn the tables on him today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I just can't single that horse.
Yeah, I think what's going to have to happen is Twilight Eclipse is going to have to get the jump on him.
Right.
I think is what's going to happen, and we're going to have some racing luck going down, because main sequence, he is a champion, and he's going to be the one to be beaten. But we do have a tremendous card here for the Besalou Stables Fountain of Youth, and that's our feature, our highlight, but we just have such tremendous races leading up to it. Ron and I will be back the rest of the afternoon. Folks, stick around. We got a great one on tap.
There's a new day dawning in Florida. Never before has a Breeders' Cup Classic winner retired to stud in the Sunshine State. Until now. Adena Springs presents 3-time Grade 1 winner and earner of over $4 million, Fort Larned. New to Adena Springs South.